Hello, Brad here, just to say we're super proud that the Friday 5pm podcast is sponsored by the Malt Miller, the UK's best home brew store.
We use the Malt Miller for all of our homebrew experiments, as well as tapping them up for advice and binging on their awesome YouTube channel all the time.
That's why whenever we release a homebrew video, we put a recipe kit live on the Malt Miller, so you can brew with the exact same amazing ingredients that we did. The same ingredients used by pro brewers.
So alongside the Malt Miller's nitro-flushed hops, cold-stored yeast and milled-to-order malts, you can pick up recipe kits for our 5 Points Best Bitter, Russian River West Coast IPA, and now the fastest beer in the world, a hazy session IPA that goes from grain to glass in less than 48 hours.
Sign up to their newsletter at tinyurl.com/Malt Miller to get 5% off your first order. With the Malt Miller's amazing customer service and Johnny's 48-hour recipe, you could order the ingredients on a Monday and be drinking the beer by the weekend.
Speaking of which, it's Friday.
It's 5pm.
So enjoy this week's Friday 5pm podcast. Hello Biggies, welcome not only to Friday 5pm, welcome not only to the weekend, but welcome to the Track Brewery taproom.
I think this is the first time we've recorded a Friday 5pm in a brewery together. Definitely together in a brewery.
Yeah, we've done the odd one where I've been on the road and you've been at home. I did one in a train station once.
Sexy.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Were you in the bog? You were just in the toilet?
Oh no, I was sat in a cafe and I must have looked... I mean, luckily we often record it on the phone anyway, so it just looked like I was on the phone. But when you do the intro, hello and welcome, people like that, that's one way to pick up the phone
weird.
to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're sat in the Track taproom where we've been filming this morning and yesterday. And also yesterday we were filming at Cloudwater. We're doing a profile on Track, and then we're doing Cloudwater will be helping us with a homebrew in a couple of months, so we were filming for that. And it's been, I mean, we haven't left this trading estate. Even our hotel was pretty much on it.
For anyone who's thinking about coming to Manchester to pay pilgrimage to Track and to Cloudwater, stay in the budget Ibis, which is about 200 metres away, just over the main road from the industrial estate. It is a bit of a death trap trying to get there.
Yeah, that road is not safe. There's a lot of building works. I'd also say bring your own breakfast to the Ibis.
Underwhelming.
Yeah, we've stayed in a lot of hotels at the Craft Beer Channel, and that was the worst breakfast we've ever had.
What did you make of the pillow situation in your bedroom, Johnny?
One was too hard and one was too soft. I needed a Goldilocks pillow.
It was interesting, wasn't it? I guess they made the decision to have... It's a double bed. We're not sharing a double bed. We had two separate rooms, two double beds. But both of our double beds had one hard, one soft pillow, which I think that's an odd choice. But I guess you could have rung down and said, I want two hard or I want two soft pillows.
Yeah, if the arguments with your partner got too extreme over who gets the hard and the soft pillow, you could probably ring down.
I was fearful that I might wake up in the middle of the night with acid reflux because I ate a Nell's pizza. On the recommendation of all the guys in Track. And I ordered a sausage pizza and it arrived with the most amount of just like crushed up chili.
Yeah, it was just blended chili,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
blended chili. It was insane, man. It was so hot, my lips are still tingling from it. But
12 hours later?
No, they're not really. Just you know, put it on a bit.
Bit of exaggeration there for the pod. Yeah.
But yeah, I woke up and at like 4 a.m, felt terrible. And I couldn't quite get comfortable because of the pillow situation.
Damn.
So I was like, this budget hotel sucks. But then I realised, actually, it's pretty good for 40 quid a night.
Yep.
Ibis, if you want to sponsor us.
I'm not sure they will on the strength of what we've been saying about them. So welcome to the Friday 5pm podcast, in which we review shit hotels and get a real insight into Brad's gastro health.
What do you reckon about the ambient noise, guys? We're in a big spacey brewery, so... They're sort of, is that the cask?
I think they're casking, they're hammering in the shives.
Shives, yeah. Which sounds a lot like...
Sounds?
Chives. Chives. Sounds a lot like chives.
Sounds like shoes. So we've been filming here. Brad and I are currently drinking, it's 11:30, okay? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not
Don't
too
judge
bad.
us. Don't judge us.
I'm drinking.
What do you mean, Johnny? It's 5 p.m.
Sorry, yes, of course it is. Yes, so I am drinking cask Sonoma and Brad is drinking keg Sonoma. And as we learned in this video, and as you will learn, they're two slightly different beers.
Don't give the game away, Johnny.
I'm
but like we're sort of looking at each other through the beers.
Yeah, I can see Bradley.
You can see me through your cask. I can't see you through my keg.
No,
That's all.
Can't see nothing.
That is hazy boy.
Yeah, but both delicious in their own formats.
Mate, incredible.
So we were filming and we chatted to the head brewer and Stefan, who does marketing and social. He just had a photo shoot of one can that lasted about an hour.
Yeah.
So he takes his social seriously, which
Very
is why the
much
Track
seriously.
Instagram is very, very beautiful.
Yeah, lots of plants, lots of shrubbery on the go.
Yep.
General shrubbery within the brewery. I must say, I was saying yesterday to you, I think this is tied as the most beautiful brewery with Daya.
Right.
When I say beautiful in the UK, I mean like considered, designed, a place you want to be in. Not necessarily like a beautiful old, full of history, cobbled brewery, but like a modern industrial trading estate brewery. It doesn't feel like you're on a trading estate. Feels destination, right?
It does.
It's kind of amazing.
And they're building a deck outside for outside drinking as well. So it's going to be
with
an even more
cargo
special
containers
place.
and stuff.
Yeah, why not?
I suggested Stefan that they should get sand out there, so it'd be like a Manchester beach.
Manchester Beach sounds like a terrible idea. You know it rains here constantly. It's the wettest. I was going to say the wettest place on earth. That's the Sonoma talking.
It's pretty wet.
It's pretty wet.
It is pretty wet
in Manchester.
Yeah.
But it's been great. We also last night we were as well as having some very spicy pizza, we drank here at the Cloudwater taproom. Brad had his first taste of Troubles.
Troubles nearly got me in troubles. I think 10%.
Chugging Troubles got you in troubles.
I got a 1/3 of it, Johnny. Yeah. I was really full up and struggling from a giant
you had an
Mel's
Imperial
pizza.
Stout. You were double parked with a triple IPA and an Imperial Stout.
Imperial Stout with ginger in it,
Yeah.
and sort of like chocolatey ginger.
Yeah,
really,
it was
pretty good
really
actually.
nice. Yeah, like dark chocolate coated ginger treats. It was super nice.
Amazing.
The way we're talking about last night, it's quite amazing we've managed to come here and film this morning, thinking about it.
Yeah, we had a big one, but we are consummate professionals, Johnny.
No, we're not, Bradley. Like, we're about to talk about the Omnipollo video in which I was a broken man for most of the shoot.
That's true. But but at the end of the day, Johnny, we still got what we needed. One of the comments said, BAFTA TV worthy.
BAFTA TV worthy?
Yeah. Another one said, great to see the return of the beer-umentary or something. I'm not quoting these. I'm just trying to remember them.
Trying to remember them, right?
Yeah.
Right,
We'll
these
get
aren't
to
the
the
comments you've picked.
No, we'll get to the quoted ones soon enough.
Well, should we talk about the video?
Yeah.
We've naturally ended up there.
Yeah.
So this week's video was our first international trip in 3 years with the channel.
Yeah, amazing.
Which is just utterly insane, given that if you'd have asked me in 2019 what kind of films we made, I'd have said travel beer documentaries. And then we went to beer documentaries, and then we went to homebrew, and now we're back again.
Our masthead on our YouTube, if we look at it on a browser, it still says like travel.
So adventures, brewing,
beer adventures,
beer talk. Yeah, something like that.
So we've always had aspiration's the wrong word. That is our goal, is to make these adventures happen.
Yeah.
And go to the places that not everyone can get to go to. Which is,
this is one of those things. I mean, also, the church is not in the centre of Stockholm either, so you could go to Stockholm and still not make it to the church, because it's about 20-25 minutes from the centre, I think.
Yeah, I sort of maybe unfairly described the area as the IKEA of... sorry, not the IKEA. The Croydon. The Croydon of Sweden.
Why are those two things similar in your mind? Is there a Croydon IKEA?
Yeah, I used to go to IKEA in Croydon.
Right.
And obviously it's Swedish. So in Brad's strange head, all of those things go together now.
Diverged.
So now I think of Sala as like Croydon, and I think of IKEA there as well. Now it's close to my heart.
There you go. So we've had an insight into Brad's gastro and his mind.
Yeah. My strange mind.
Yeah. It's out in the suburbs, an up and coming part of Stockholm.
Yeah, definitely up and coming.
The church was absolutely stunning. I mean, we'd seen it because we did the live show with Omnipollo a year ago or so.
Yes.
So we'd seen it digitally, but we were really keen to go and show it as beautiful as we know it was going to be, and it did not disappoint. It is a stunning space.
I was overwhelmed by the whole experience, and proper sort of like man love, man crush on Carl and Henok. I think they're such nice people as human beings.
Super talented human beings.
Super talented, super focused. Like, genuinely, Henok is the geekiest beer geek I think I've ever met, but also incredibly charming and just a wonderful person. And Carl, I respect incredibly as a designer, as an artist, as a visionary thinker, Johnny.
Oh, blimey.
And I think, together they make much greater than the sum of their parts. They've made Omnipollo, which I think we project these sort of feelings on brands. And for years, Omnipollo's been legendary, but it was very small operation for a long time. Cuckoo Brewing and all the rest of it. But it was so amazing to see that it is actually a real physical brewery now. Mm-hmm. Like this is kind of game changing for them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of parallels between Omnipollo and us, which is why I was so keen to make a video with them as well, because you've got somebody who's super into beer and you've got somebody who's super into design.
Yeah.
Somebody who is super in the beer geek scene and somebody who is just on the outside of it and actually has quite a fresh look on it. I think you and Carl both have that. So it was really interesting to see how they went about their business, and we were both sort of digital businesses for 7 or 8 years. I mean, that's not to say that we're not. We still are very much a digital business, but it would be the equivalent if we ever opened a bar one day.
One day.
It could be a similar journey. That's not what I want to do.
Shandy Boys.
Far too hard work. Oh yeah, Shandy Boys.
Well, I've got a whole bunch of bar ideas, Johnny.
Every week Brad comes to me with another very niche, very unworkable bar idea. So we'll just open a brewery because that's easier, right? So yeah, I mean, I absolutely love, on the channel I have occasionally criticised pastry stouts, occasionally found some Omnipollo beers a bit too sweet, a bit too out there, but I gained so much respect, and I think actually their Imperial Stouts have really grown since they first came out. That first anagram, which was the blueberry cheesecake version, kind of blew my mind, but I didn't especially enjoy it. But like the one that we had in the actual film, the hard poured.
Hat. Oh no, the one you had in the film.
Yeah, the coffee. Gosh, what was it? It had coffee, lactose, pecan maybe. God, I can't remember, but it was absolutely fucking delicious.
And that didn't have any of the sort of wizardry with like soft serve or any sort of special ways of pouring. Well, it had hard pour.
Nitro,
had nitro, but you at home can experience that same experience. You can buy a can, hard pour it, and you're gonna have an incredible time.
Yeah. So I've gained huge new respect both for Omnipollo as a business and as a brewery, and just for some of their beers as well. I think I haven't reached for their pastry stouts very often in the past, and now, God, isn't it just the best thing for dessert?
It's the best. It's the best.
We took a bunch home, which was so nerve-wracking because, like, obviously, when we had a load of pastry stouts in my suitcase with a couple of white T-shirts, and you're just like, this can't go well.
Could have come back with some tie-dye there, Johnny.
Yeah, I could have done, yeah.
Macking on my style. Some beer tie-dye.
It would have been so funny to see if something had smashed, to see that come out on the conveyor belt at Gatwick, just like dripping, sticky, and everyone would have smelled like, why can I smell hazelnuts and coffee?
Bright pink sort of juice coming from your bag.
Yeah. A bit like blood coming out.
Yeah.
So yeah, thankfully they survived the experience and we got them home, and we're going to be drinking some of those as we brew our Imperial Stout collaboration with Omnipollo, which is in a couple of weeks. We're brewing it next week.
We are. Slightly worried about it. It sounds very complicated.
Actually, the malt arrived just before I got on the train yesterday to come up here.
Nice.
And it was so heavy. We've got, I think it's over 15 kilograms of malt we're going to be using,
Malty.
which is too much malt for the grain father, so we're going to have to do a double brew. It's just, it's crazy what we're going to attempt to do. And we spent nearly £100 on adjuncts. We've got coffee from Brazil, cacao from Mexico, maybe? The coffee, actually, I haven't told you this yet, but it was roasted in collaboration.
Yes, go on.
With Motorhead.
Mind-blowing.
No expense spared.
Was this before Lemmy died?
No, very much not. It must be after.
Otherwise,
that wouldn't be very fresh
Motorhead's
coffee.
not really a thing if Lemmy's not involved, surely. I think you got ripped off, Johnny.
I've been conned.
Do you know the only reason why I don't really want to go to LA anymore, but I wanted to go to LA because Lemmy every day would go to, I believe it was the Whiskey A Go-Go or the Rainbow Room on the Sunset Strip and play the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire computer game machine that they had on the counter there every day. So you could like guarantee if he wasn't touring, he'd be in there playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire arcade machine. Cool, right?
Yeah, if Huge if true, I think is the phrase.
It's totally true, man. I watched the documentary. It's just called Lemmy, this documentary. And he lived in a rent-controlled apartment just off of the Sunset Strip for like 20 or odd years, maybe longer actually. And it meets his estranged son. He shows his collection of sort of World War II Nazi memorabilia.
What?
He's got like a room of like all this crazy shit. He wasn't a Nazi. He just liked all of the weird stuff, World War II stuff.
It's a hobby.
I think he's driving a tank at one point in it, and it also goes into his love of cut-off denim short shorts.
Was he a never nude? Is that where this comes from?
Yeah, he's kind of like Tobias, a never nude, essentially.
There are dozens of us.
Yeah, there are dozens of us. Lemmy is amongst our number. Yeah. So it's great. Anyone who hasn't seen it, watch the Lemmy documentary. But you got coffee made by Motorhead.
Yeah, well, I don't really understand the connection. I need to dig more in. I picked them because of the notes of, I think it was coffee. Caramel, hazelnut kind of notes. Cinnamon, I think, was a flavoured profile. I was like, that sounds right for what we're going to do with your Imperial Stout, because you're brewing too.
Yeah. Has it got like a very Motorhead name? Is it called like Overdrive or like Born to Die or...
It's something like that, yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
cool, man.
Yeah, they've gone all
awesome.
in, yeah. Anyway, we've got ahead of ourselves. We need to go back and look at the comments on our Omnipollo video.
We do.
Which it's done extremely well. I'm very pleased. I don't know whether a lot of it was sort of welcoming to the fold the 10,000 subscribers that have joined this month because of our viral, we're viral now.
Crazy. Yeah, and you put out a new one of them as well, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, well, didn't we get into that last week?
I can't remember, Johnny.
I can't remember.
The weeks are just stacking up now. I don't know what's going on.
They kind of are. Now that we're actually out and about again, I forget what day of the week it is.
It's so confusing. I feel like we're actually sort of real. This is a job because we're sort of filming today, recording today, travelling today, drinking today.
I love that you say it feels like a job when we've been doing this as a job for
I know,
several
but
years.
It really feels
just
like
been coasting till this point.
No,
this
it feels like a proper job now, doesn't it? It's great,
Sure.
No, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're right. It has felt like a proper job for a while.
Right, so comments. Do you want to go first or shall I?
No, you go first, Johnny.
Okay, so my favourite comment this week was from Russ Flynn.
Good name.
Who dives into the numbers of a pretty incendiary, sensational statement by Hennock, which is about the final gravity, so the amount of sugar left at the end of the ferment in some of his pastry stouts.
Yes.
So I think he's talking about the one that we drank in this video.
Go on. I'm on a diet.
He said it was between 18 and 20 Plato.
Yes.
So if we're talking gravity, that's around about 1080.
Yes.
Which is still stronger than you'd start most double IPAs.
Wow. Okay.
So that's how sweet it's going to be. And so Russ does some calorie counting. So he says 18 to 20 Plato finishing gravity. That's where my Doppelbock recipe starts. I'm really curious if consumers understand how many calories are in a beer like that. For a final gravity of 15.5% ABV, the starting gravity would have to be 42.5 Plato, which I believe is about correct, which would be 1190 in gravity, and there would be 668 calories per 12 ounces.
Wow.
For reference, the average stick of butter has 800 calories in it.
So hang on,
I think there's more than 800 calories in a stick of butter.
So if we drank a stick of butter, if we melted a stick of butter the same volume, has it got more or less calories in it?
It would have slightly more.
Okay, I don't feel too bad about that.
I mean, it's still half a stick of butter kind of thing that you drink. But then, I mean, most beers
Delicious,
are around
though.
about 400 calories anyway.
It's fucking delicious, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, it is delicious, and I'm sure consumers don't understand that. I think consumers have always struggled with the idea of drinking calories. It feels like calories should be solid.
Yeah. When we were in the church, we saw people drinking pints of this stuff as well, like and of the sour.
Not of the Imperial Stout, the sour one,
yeah.
Which would, I mean, because they put lactose into that, they put...
that's got to be pretty high up there with the calories too, right?
Finishing gravities will be around the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they are incredibly calorific, incredibly sweet, loaded with sugar.
It's a meal in a glass.
It's a meal in a glass, yeah, which Guinness has been for decades.
Yeah, but how many Guinness do we think is equivalent to one
Omnipollo? About 3
Omnipollo?
Guinnesses to one Imperial Stout.
Holy
probably.
fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I appreciate the maths, Russ, but I think
good.
if you're drinking one of those beers, for a start, the last thing you need to worry about is the calories.
Maths is going out the window, mate, if you're drinking
Well, yeah, that too.
You won't remember how to add 1 + 1 by the end of a couple of those bad boys.
Yeah.
I had a comment from Angry City that said, thanks for also covering the designer in this doc. It's not done often enough. in this and other craft industries, and as a designer for beer and cannabis myself, it's appreciated.
Hey, angry city. I bet he's not very angry, or she is very angry at all.
Probably quite mellow.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Yeah.
All that cannabis designing.
And alcohol's a downer too.
Downer, downer upon downer.
It's just very, very chilled.
Very chilled, angry.
And yeah, I mean, you couldn't do a documentary about Omnipollo without talking about the design, because I think certainly at the start, that's what was different. You know, they made a Belgian blonde. That was their first beer.
Yes.
You know, there's lots of Belgian blondes out there. It's not particularly daring to do, although they did do it with champagne yeast, so it's a little bit different, and some American hops. Okay, it's quite different. But, you know, the artwork was what sort of, I think, made people pay attention. And it's the same with me when I first tried Mazarin, now Maz. It was the candle on the bottle that first attracted me. I was like, what's that? Let's give it a go. Yeah,
I mean, you know, I got into a habit of sometimes keeping bottles or cans that I really loved. And then I was like, what am I doing this for? This is totally weird. So I chucked them away. But I've kept, the only ones I've kept are Omnipollo, screen printed glasses.
Yep.
Cans. Not a can, sorry, a glass, when they're screen printed on the bottles. Yeah, glass bottles. What I was trying to say, I had another comment from Stein Erik Real Jensen. Maybe his name should be the real Stein Erik Jensen.
That would make more sense.
But real is spelt like Swedish style, with a W, R.
Oh, okay.
But I think maybe Sten, you should call yourself the real Sten Shady.
What's the comment, Bradley?
Great that also the artwork of Omnipollo is presented. Off topic, I worked with Carl's father, a very gifted graphic designer in the 1980s, with a magazine covering medical technology. Great that design also important for craft beer. Without Carl's graphic ideas, I think Omnipollo hadn't reached its iconic identity so fast. I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah. I think, like I said, together, they're greater than the sum of their parts.
Absolutely. I think probably the designs have freed and inspired Henox to be a little bit more daring with what's in those cans as well. Like when they're putting that packaging, you can get away with anything.
Yeah, man. You can see these guys have got a proper bromance as well when they get together. Yeah. They're like in love with each other and their minds, and I think they really push each other in exciting and interesting ways, and that comes out in what they created.
Whereas we probably bring out the worst in each other.
Maybe. No.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, like, Carl joined us pretty late on our night out, which was a very big night out. And you could sort of see how delighted Henoch was that Carl had made it. I think they didn't spend as much time with each other as they'd probably like to, particularly because I think they probably spent most of the time together when they were on the road, and obviously they hadn't been on the road for a couple of years. So it was really nice to see them really enjoying their time together and already like spitballing ideas and laughing at stuff, and definitely a really kind of inspirational little partnership, that business.
And like being on a night out with them was like one of the most drunken, full-on drinking nights ever.
Yeah.
Did we talk about this in the previous pod, all the stuff we got up to?
I don't think we did.
Mate, that first night, bearing in mind we were only there for a couple of days, they took us out and gave us the biggest night ever.
Yeah. Well, we only went to 2 places.
Yeah, but those 2 places were insane.
We had like 3 different lambics from the 90s.
Yeah.
Sadly, some of them were corked. We had pastry sours, pastry stouts. We had some amazing local lagers. We had their amazing lagers, including a wet top lager.
Yeah. We even had some British cask.
We had some British cask at Apparat, which is an amazing bar if you're ever in Stockholm. Like weird vibes, like American dive bar kind of vibe, but then a beer list that the likes of which I've never seen.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about people having, beer collections and kind of, keeping stuff and aging it. But I mean, this was a different level.
Yeah, they had 2 floors.
How many levels?
Of fridges.
Yeah,
2 or 3.
Multi-levels of
like
levels.
You kept going down in the lift to more collections of rare lambics and big stouts. And
it was basically an apocalypse bunker.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're all headed.
Beer.
If we can get there, if we can get to Stockholm, that's where I want to live out the end of the world.
It's sort of
drinking corked lambic. Wait, that doesn't sound so great.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too good. But it kind of had like a bit of a Cheers vibe upstairs, didn't it? Very unexpected. We walked through the commercial kitchen like we were gangsters in Goodfellas or something, like walking through round the back to get the VIP access or something.
Yeah.
Walk through this commercial hustle and bustle kitchen, sort of like a weird elevator, which I don't know if I'm imagining it, but it was like not a proper door. As it went up and down, you could have like jammed your hand in and lost your arm.
Yeah.
A goods freight elevator that just took us 5 or 6 levels down. I'm going to say 20 levels down, Johnny.
Go on, say
maybe
20.
30 levels.
Oh my God.
I think maybe there's a CIA bunker down there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
there was a Hilton hotel car park.
Yeah, deep state sort of stuff going on down there with different levels, you know.
Yeah.
But
Meet
incredible.
Deep Throat in the Hilton car park kind of thing.
Yeah,
man. Right, on that note, fuck me. We'll call it quits for today. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We're again in that situation where I'm not entirely sure what next week's video is going to be, but I reckon it might be the track feature.
Nice.
It might be.
Nice.
It might be. So enjoy that, or whatever it is we end up putting out there. Basically, because we have to keep pushing back the Omnipollo brew because of all the planning. So yes, we'll see you next week for an unknown video, and obviously back with a Friday 5 p.m. next Friday. So ciao from Track.
Cheers.
Cheers. The Bubble and Friday 5pm podcasts are brought to you by the nerds behind YouTube's craft beer channel. You can watch over 400 mini documentaries at youtube.com/the craft beer channel. And if you love what we do, support us via Patreon and get access to merchandise and our amazing Discord forum, a positive and welcoming space for everyone who loves beer, food and homebrewing. Love and beer.